never been till you put me down. Oh, I knew you.
Welcome to assignment 4. What we're going to do, we're going to start out assignment 4 by opening up a console project. I'm going to go OK. And it will bring up my console project. So now we're going to go into the assignment and look at the assignment. I'm looking at this assignment on section D, page 7, array lists, collection, stacks, and queues. I'm looking at a program here that has me making a hash table. Come on down to the instruction. It says, adjust your program from the last section to make it a hash table with key values. Save your program and compile it and run it. Take a screenshot of the output once you run the program. Turn the program and the screenshot to your instructor. Okay, I don't think it's particularly necessary for you to take a screenshot of your output, but I would definitely like you to make the program. But what does it say? Go back to the program that you made before. Well, you didn't make this program before, but let me show you what's involved in the program you supposedly made before. So we go up here and we look at the assignment practice code. That was what they're referring to. So you come down here and you see almost the exact same thing. But here we're, instead of doing a hash table, we're doing an array list. You're adding objects to an array, then you're removing an object from your array, and you print the results out both times, before and after. So this is a very simple code. And all you're going to do in making it a hash table is you're just going to add an index. If I come down here, it tells me, enter a similar program into Visual Studio Express, then compile and run the program. Use items from your backpack or a table in your room in your house. Save your program, add a screenshot. So it's going to be similar to this. So it's going to be similar to this program. So they're giving you an example here of what they're looking for. So now if I want to go back to see how to construct what they're doing here for an array list, I have to go back to page 10. And it tells you that you have to declare, you have to establish your array list in this fashion. So just like they have here on page 13, they dim objects in my table as a new array list. So you would do that. So you're going to see how we're going to change this up, but we're just going to start the way they start. So in between, after I have submain here, I've got a dim, and I'm going to declare my array list. Dim. They have objects in my table. I have to put it, make something that fancy. What's on my desk? What's on disk? Okay. As what? And make a new array list. For this assignment, you would have made an array list. Okay? So, what do we do from here? Let's go back to our instructions. Okay, if we're going to add items to an array list, all you have to do is you put the name of the array. In this case, it's complicated objects on my desk kind of thing. Then you go add, and then you put the item that you're going to add. So now I'm just going to write on here. What's on desk? See, they already got it here. Just click it, right? What's on desk dot add. What am I adding? Oh, I don't know. What's on my desk? A computer, right? See, it's whatever you want to put up here. So I'm going to add a second item. what's on desk. So I just click here, right? I put dot add. What else do I want to put on here? Oh, I don't know. A clock. I got a clock on my desk. Quotation marks, clock. Enter. So I'm going to add another one, right? See, this is all an array. So it's all going in a list. Instead of having one object, I'm having several. So this is just like, remember before we declared one array, it took up one space. Now we're just putting a list of things in one space. That's what we're doing here, okay? So I'm going to add another thing to my list of what's on desk. There we go. Double click that. Dot add. You double click that as well if you'd like. Oh, what's on my desk? Telephone. So I'm going to add telephone. Okay, what else is on my desk? A notebook, right? What's on desk? Dot add notebook. So last one, what's on desk? I got a coffee cup here. How about that? What's on desk? Dot add coffee cup. So now that you got all your objects assembled, what do you want to do? Well, I just want to write what my items are, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put console. I double click that too, can I? Dot write line. Double click that if you want to. Parentheses. Items on my desk are. Actually, these are items that are on your table, right? So I put a space there and I put my parentheses in. So now I'm going to do me a for loop. So because I want them to write it, all right? Okay, for each, here, double click that, object item, as string, in, what's on desk, so I want the console to write it, right? Console dot write line. Double click that. Object item. Then it is next, right? So it's going to write every item. So we got that taken care of, and you can run that and see what that looks like, and it'll just write all the items you put up there until it runs out of items. So now what are we doing? Now it tells us we got to take one away. So what's on my desk, add. So how do you take away? What's on my desk, remove. All right, so we're going to take away one. Okay, so what's on desk? Remove. That's how you take one away. We'll take away the coffee cup. Oops, I gotta have a double quote, sadly. See, it didn't turn red, did it? If it isn't red, it's dead. Okay, coffee cup. All right, so what we're doing here, we're writing out to the console, right? Console dot write line coffee cup taken out from the collection, removed from the table. Desk, removed from the desk. The item's still on the desk. There you go. And then you quotation mark, close it out. Then what do? Then you do the same thing as you did before. For each item on the desk, right, you do the same thing, right? You know it's right. Write it again. For each. It's the exact same thing as here. In fact, you can just copy it if you want to. Object, item, as string, in, what's on desk, then I put in here, right, my console dot write line put the same thing as before. Items on my desk are, right? So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new line. Now I want to be able to write this down, right? Want to print this out. So I want to go console dot write line I want to write object item. See, it's one reference to those multiple items. So now after next, what I want to do is I want to put in console read. And what this will do is it'll pause. It'll put a pause in. So let's see what this looks like. I click debug, start debugging. So it brought this up. Items on my desk are computer, clock, telephone, notebook, and coffee cup. Then I remove the coffee cup from my desk. The items that are still on my desk are computer, clock, telephone, and notebook. And actually, if you didn't want them all listed out individually with items on my desk, you put them in front of the for each. Okay, let me show you what that looks like. It's a little different here. So I'm going to go Control X. Now I'm going to click up here and I'm going to put above for each and show you the difference here. Control V. So when I debug this, what it does, it just lists them the same way it listed them before. You see, when I had it below the for each, it printed out object on my desk with every object. So it doesn't matter how you have that, however you like it. Now I wanted to show you how you change this up to make this into the project. So now I have this all written out. Okay, what's on my desk, add all this stuff. Now I'm going to show you the project that you're going to do, okay? And we're going to show you that it's just not that different from this one. Let me save this one out first. I'm going to save all my files. And I'm going to save it as assignment 4B. Now, can you do this if you want to do this as your assignment? Sure you can. But the reason that we want to do the hash table is because we're looking at an actual index. Okay, now we're going to go to this program, sample assignment program here, okay? And we're going to change up what we just did. So here, instead of dimming the objects as a new array table, array list, we're going to do it as a hash table. So we change array list to hash table. So what else? How else do we change it? What's on desk add? So objects in my table add. So I have item 1, comma, computer. So all I do is I come over here, right? And I put a quotation mark, item 1, and a comma. There you go. So all you're doing, right, you're adding a reference. Okay? So you're coming over here and you're going to add a reference. Instead, you're going to call this one item 2. That's the only difference right now anyway that you have with the hash table, is you're just adding a reference. So you're coming over here to the third one and you're going to put item 3. See? Telephone. You come up here and you're going to add another, you're going to add item, you're adding a reference, item 4. And then lastly, you add another reference, item 5. So now let me see if that's the only thing I need to do. Let me check my code here, right? So I'm going to go console, right line, items in my table are same thing as before. For each object item as string and objects in my table, dot values, console, right line, object item. So the only thing I do here is on my for each, I have to add the word values, right? So I put dot values. I can double click once again. So in this one I can put what's on desk, remove coffee cup, or I could put in here item 4 if I want, item 5 if I wanted to. The same result, it would remove it. It's just that you now have 2 different references to the same thing. So that's the only thing you do, is you come over here, you add an identifier. See this? It's the only different thing. If you're going to make it a hash table, you have to have an identifier with a comma. So, and you're adding here dot values from what's on my desk. Okay, you see that? Okay, we have to put dot values down here as well. Okay, so now for each comment, I have to have what's on desktop value. So those are basically the only things that are different. Can you see that? So when I run my debugger, I'll have everything just the way it was before. Okay? That's all you do for assignment 5 here. I guess this is assignment 5 now. But I just wanted to show you that whether you do one or the other, whether you do a hash table or whether you do what we had before as the array list, it's basically the same thing. It's just a different approach, and you do it for different purposes. This you can build on. When you have a hash table, you generally you make it more complicated than this. All right. But I'm just showing you that if you want to do it as an array list or if you want to do it as a hash table, it's your decision. Okay, I'll accept either one. All right. So all you do is save it and you turn it into me. Turn the whole project in, just zip it and send it. So I save everything and I'm done.
Never been